and we have our third art chat of the semester. And today we've got Allison Holman from North Carolina. What city, Allie?
I'm in Durham.
In Durham, North Carolina. Thank you and welcome to the St. Louis Catholic High School Art Chat with arguably one of the best group of kids I've had in this class. So we are armed with our I should say art chat number 1 because you're gracious enough to bless us with 2. I've got my my dream house here. I went with the flat roof.
Nice.
Yeah. I went with a flat roof. Added, it's kind of like a thatched roof, and then glued some cardstock on the inside. So we've got, it's got a good, and we've got others. So enough about you. Toss me yours. Toss me.
I would love to see.
Yeah, right here.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we've got, the paper on the inside. We've got a blue on the roof with stitching on the roof.
Who's this at?
Pardon?
Who's this that?
That is Hannah. Hannah, come front.
Hannah, I love it.
There you go, Hannah, coming at you. All right. Okay. Well, Allie, I say we just roll with it. Let's begin. Tell us about yourself and whether we are currently lucid dreaming or not.
Great question. I wish I knew. The answer is maybe. But hi, everybody. I'm Allie. I'm 36 and in Durham. I'm a massage therapist, and I've been creative my whole life. And I went to school in college for art, but I had a bunch of weird jobs after college, and I'm just now really starting something like an art career. And so yeah, I love my job as a massage therapist. I'm not going to stop that anytime soon, but it's really wonderful to be able to create art and do massage therapy at the same time. And I have a monthly dream club where we get together and we talk about dreams, and dreams absolutely influence my art and what I do. Did you all have fun dream journaling? Yeah, were you surprised by it at all?
I didn't realize I was gonna remember as many dreams as I did. There's actually a lot more than I thought.
Right. And especially when you write things down first thing when you wake up, that really helps.
Yeah.
Did anybody else have that experience where they were surprised to remember their dreams?
I've had a sort of opposite reaction. I normally remember my dreams, and when I started journaling them down, I couldn't remember them.
Are you serious? That's so interesting. And do you have any thoughts about that, or what do you attribute dreaming a lot to? Has it just always been that way for you?
I've always been able to remember them, but I guess it's just kind of like bringing it up consciously to my mind makes it like more difficult to remember, I guess. I don't know.
Like it's almost too much pressure or something?
I think so.
Something like that? Interesting. Did anybody have any really weird dreams? They turn into a dragon and all of a sudden they have to make waffles for everybody.
I had a lot of different weird dreams. So I was writing them and I was like, wait, this is really weird. So
yeah, Hannah actually said that you woke up, like, did you say that you woke up, you wrote your notes down on your phone,
yeah.
and then you went back to sleep, and when she woke up, she didn't know, she couldn't really recall. Yeah.
That's so funny. I love it when I do that, and because it feels like it's a whole other person that's experiencing that. It's not me when I can't remember stuff like that. That's so funny. Cool. I'd love to hear more. I mean, does anybody dislike dreaming, or does anybody think dreams are I don't know, weird or not cool?
I swear I can't ever have a normal dream. All my dreams are just crazy, full of like stuff that I'd never do in real life. Like, for like one example, like I woke up and I went to like church in like Rome, And then after that, I did like a whole marathon that's like straight out of there. Like people were like getting me to do like this marathon run around the Eiffel Tower, like straight from Rome. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I just have so many random dreams like that. It's just weird.
I love it. I love it.
Allie, how would you respond to him saying, I always have random dreams like that? What would be your response to that operative word, random?
Well, I mean, it's hard to argue with because dreams feel so strange that it does feel random. But having worked with dreams for, I don't know, 20 years now, something like that, yeah, I've noticed that it's not random. It's all you. It's all something coming from you. And some people would argue that there's, stuff coming from the universe, other worlds, heaven, all sorts of other places to you, and you're getting direct messages. And so I would say it's not random, but it surely does feel random. And like Rome and Paris are very far away from each other, so that's random. But yeah, I see links. Or you just, probably told me a lot about you just from that one dream, you know. Maybe, maybe. If you were in my dream club, we would all sit around and we'd listen to your dream and we'd say, wow, that's so interesting. Tell me, what does Rome mean to you? What's the first thing you think of what's one word, the first thing you think of when you think about Rome?
Like church.
Church.
Eiffel Tower.
Okay, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Eiffel Tower?
Like how big it is, I guess.
Uh-huh. What's the first thing you think of when you think about marathon running?
How hard it is.
How hard it is. And do you run or are you
I
athletic?
mean, I mean, I do run. I go for runs a lot, but like, I've never been in a marathon before, like ever. So like, I don't know.
Yeah. There's just something to be said about the connection between church and what running means to you and how humans have created this massive feat of engineering that is the Eiffel Tower. There's just something there. And if I would not be surprised if other themes like that came up in your dreams kind of over and over and over again. We're sort of predictable creatures in a lot of ways. And our dreams can really show us the things that we maybe don't notice about ourselves, which is wonderful. Or scary, it depending. Sometimes
So
it's too much.
I told Allie when we spoke last that, and maybe I'll let you off the hook if you want to feel this way. Like, my Kaya used to come downstairs. She had very vivid dreams, and she would come downstairs in the mornings and tell the family about her dreams. And I would just, I did not like listening to them because it just seemed so arbitrary and unnecessary. And so I would sit there, I wouldn't be ugly about it, but it was just like, oh gosh, here we go, another dream. But my wife, Nicole, would do the opposite of me and say, oh, that's interesting. What do you think that means? Like what Allie's talking about. But now I would feel so horrible doing that to her, like not paying attention to it. Because as I told her, Allie, like, and I told you, like, I wasn't remembering any dreams until just the minimal, what do you call it? Push to say, hey, we're going to start a dream journal. And it's like my dream said, oh, you're finally going to want to pay attention to me. You're finally going to want to remember me. Okay, Mr. Subconscious, kick into gear and start working. Did you have like, I would call that a negative response to dreams whenever I was doing that to Kaya. Did you have negative responses to dreams?
You asking
I'm
me?
the
or
only
Nicole?
person.
Me too. And I think they're weird and I'm like, I don't like it, so I just like try to forget it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Or like if I have a nightmare or something, like I had this recurring nightmare when I was little and I like hated it so much that it made me hate dreaming. And now I like it.
So Allie, what would you say about, because I mean, I know I have the same recurring dream about it. I have applied to get a graduate degree, but I can't make it there, and so I don't even show up the first year, and I have to show up to campus on the second year and rebuild, and like like, where have you been? But I paid my tuition and I'm not there, and it's the same thing. And one of my high school geometry teachers is one of the teachers that helps me out with this. I have that dream often. It's probably the most common one, which I'm sure says something about a life in academia and blah, 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 blah. But is it the recurring dreams? Have you had the recurring dreams, or in your dream group where once you settle into understanding that recurring dream that they go away?
Yeah, it's sort of I mean, everybody's gonna be different, but yeah, just to like sort of maybe like full circle it, it makes so much sense to have something like a negative response to dreams, or to just like easily write them off, because we probably dream every night. We all have to sleep. We have tons and tons of dreams. Why focus on all of it? It is a really weird part of our lives. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, dreams show us a lot about ourselves that we might not otherwise get to see. Or like, how sometimes your best friends will notice things about you that you don't even know about yourself, and you're like, dang it, how do you even know that? It's just a sort of a different way to see ourselves. And so nightmares, they're hard. I don't think anybody likes having them. They're so like scary and weird. And like that's sort of a whole, we could talk about that. We could just spend the rest of our time talking about nightmares. Um, but reoccurring dreams, absolutely. There's so many of them. There's places that you'll return to once you start to like really journal and pay attention to your dreams. There's specific houses that you'll go to over and over and over again. There's specific people that you've never met that you'll just keep meeting up with in your dreams. It's pretty incredible. And so something I like to do is try and practice lucid dreaming so I can get into my dreams and have some amount of control or some amount of influence over my dreams. And so like with your dream about grad school, I would kind of wake up in my dream and be like, wow, I am anxious right now. This is not fun. Something is wrong, something is off. And I would try and influence a different outcome so that I could maybe feel slightly more positive. Oh, it's a party now.
I know.
Hi.
So when did you first like start, like, would you say like practicing lucid dreaming? Like, how did you realize that you could kind of do that?
Yeah, I was in my early 20s, and I don't entirely remember how I started to get into it. I'm 36 now, and so that's kind of a while ago. I just remember that I started to dream journal every day. And just like Mr. Austin was talking about, as soon as you like start to acknowledge your dreams, there's something about it where they just like respond. And so I don't know your name, and I can barely see your eyes where you dream all the time and then you stop dreaming. But that's like a really immediate response. Whatever the dream world is, it really, really responds to intention. And so if you start dream journaling, you're very likely to dream more. If you think all the time about Michael Jordan, chances are good that you're going to dream about Michael Jordan pretty soon. What we think tends to show up in our dreams. So I started practicing waking up in my dreams, and eventually was able to. And the first few dreams I had I was able to not fly, but jump. Have y'all ever had this in your dreams where you want to fly, but you just jump really high?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Yes.
It's so funny. And I love that this is like a common experience, or that some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, yeah. And so it's really just about intention and practice, because it kind of is a skill, and it does take a little time to get good at it.
On the topic of like lucid dreaming, has something from like one of your lucid dreams like reminded you like when you're like awake like during the day? Has it like have you seen something that reminded you of it? Has anything small from it come to like fruition or like something like that?
Well, this is where it gets a little like freaky, because yes, there are, if I pay attention to my dreams and I really am invested and I'm lucid dreaming regularly, things from my dreams will show up in my waking life all the time. And it's amazing. It makes me feel like there has to be something bigger than me happening, you know? But yeah, has anybody else had an experience like that where they notice something from their dreams? I see you nodding. I see you nodding. Tell me, please.
Most of the time it's with people. Like if there's somebody I haven't talked to in a while and I see them in a dream, then like randomly they'll just text me something or out of nowhere. And it scares me very much.
Tell me why that scares you.
I mean, because like we don't know what else is, you know, like you were saying, like something bigger out there or whatever. We don't really know what it is.
Yes.
It's freaky.
Yeah, my partner is the same way. So I'm over here talking about dreams all the time. And my partner says, no, 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 no. We should not look into dreams too much. We don't know what we're doing. You might accidentally invite some demons into your life. We do not want this. And so, you know, I can appreciate that perspective.
Whenever you
Yeah.
first started paying attention, more and wanting to experience your dreams, did you find yourself waking up after every dream?
I would often at the beginning, there are little things you can do to try and wake up in the dream, and some of them would wake me up. So, yes, at the beginning, yes, absolutely. Is that happening to you?
It is. After every dream, I wake up.
Yeah, that's powerful. You've got some very like powerful awareness in your sleep and in your dreams. Is it annoying?
It's a little annoying because sometimes I can't go back to sleep because I start thinking
Yes.
what happened in the dream.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
it's on my consciousness to pay attention to it. That's why it's happening because it feels like something I have to do.
Right. It's kind of like a chore. Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of why it feels like practicing any other skill, or like getting good at an instrument or learning a language or anything like that. It like that sort of uncomfortable awkwardness is just, yeah, part of the process, and part of um learning how to relax, because some part of you is just trying to get good at this thing, but also it's like totally fine if you aren't. You have the rest of your life to dream and sleep and practice it, so it's all good if you want to go easy on yourself and not get good at it really quick. Does that make sense? Or yeah, learning skills is just weird. It takes time. But yeah, it isn't fun. I mean, you all need your beauty sleep. This is not fun to wake up. My gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Do some of your dreams relate to your quilts?
Yes, absolutely. I dream about quilts a lot because I think about them a lot, but there's one quilt I made where it's as good of a replica as I could make from a quilt I saw in a dream. And so I saw this quilt, I was looking at it with my mom, and then I made it in real life. Um, there's I have a grandma that I love a lot that passed 5 years ago, and she was coming to me in dreams a lot. And so I made a quilt for her, kind of. It's yellow, and her favorite color was yellow. And so, yes, absolutely. Sometimes I dream about certain colors, and then I'll only want to work with that color in my quilts. Yes, it's just. Have dreams ever influenced y'all's art, or like decisions you've made in life?
I think so.
You
I
think
think
so?
I haven't been like aware of my dreams enough until like recently to actually like them affect. I mean, like influence me that like, I'm not aware of them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we don't as a culture really value dreams that much until somebody steps in and says maybe you should look at them. Yeah. Yeah.
But, no, go ahead. Okay, I'll go ahead. Uh, and then again, this is something that I brought up with Ally, the other day. Like, when I think about it, and I talked to her about this being a Catholic school and study of scripture and stuff, but how many times did good news or warnings or things come in scripture where and you believe the dreams, like the whole the whole annunciation is with Joseph, it's a dream. Like, what? It's a dream, and we take them so seriously and so positively, and we base organized religions on these dreams, yet at the same time, so it seems that they are a window to our subconscious, a window where God could communicate with us, a window of goodness. But then at the same time, sometimes it gets a mystical new age kind of bad rap to it. And maybe that is because we, no, maybe, I'm sure that's exactly what it is that things we don't understand, we fear. And what we fear, we push off, and we can easily blame them. And so you saying you don't understand your dream, while yours was harmless, running from a church in Rome to Paris, there's nothing that I think you could read into that would be negative. But you said you didn't understand it and you laughed about it. But what if something was like, I don't know. I just think there's no conclusion to my thought there, as much as I just wanted to point out the dreams in scripture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mystical. It's spiritual, it's magic, it's definitely almost otherworldly. Yes, I agree with that completely. And yeah, it's not always fun. It can be really upsetting or scary or gross. There's gross dreams, you
Sure.
know. Um, yeah, there was one time where I had there was a horse with two mouths who told me he was the god of war and that he wanted me to come get revenge with him. And I said, no, thank you. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't think I should team up with you. That doesn't seem right. No. Um, yeah. But then there's other times where yeah, I feel like I'm being visited by that grandma I was mentioning, and it's so sweet, and I feel completely fulfilled and happy when I wake up. And there's other times where I do make big life decisions based on my dreams, and yeah, it's just you never know what's going to come to you in your dreams, and that's part of the fun of it. Um, and you never know what's going to be revealed.
Crazy is that I mean, you said you make big life decisions based on dreams. And it seems like, unless you're in your dream group, your dream, so unless it's like, I'd say 90% of the population would say that was probably an irresponsible and way too intuitive move. But what? But wouldn't that be like something that is the absolute closest to you, which is your intuition?
Yeah, and I love that you use that word. I feel like that's entirely the whole reason why I sustain a dream practice is because I get in touch with my intuition through dreaming kind of more than anything else. Or I'm always trying to get better at understanding like my gut and what it's
Yeah.
trying to tell me while I'm awake. And that's like it's hard. It's a process. It takes a lot of time to make sure that I really know what it is that I want. Um, because that's what gives me like my personal power, my personal strength is knowing what I want and then being able to act on it. And so in dreams, what I'm trying to go for is being able to live as fully in my dreams as I do while I'm awake. So there's kind of a continuation of living fully through my whole 24 hours of a day. And, like I was mentioning my partner before, my partner's like, that's too much. That's wild. There's no way I could do that. And I don't see the benefit of it. But for me, I love it because I am always surprising myself with what I'm able to do in my dreams, especially because I'm lucid dreaming. I'm achieving things that I actually want to achieve in my real life, or I'm achieving things that are so beyond my reach, it's kind of ridiculous. Like there's no way I could ever own a museum. It's not in the cards for me. I don't think I'll ever own a museum, but in my dreams, I absolutely can, and I can curate it however I want. Blah blah blah. Um, so I get to show up and be present in my dreams in the way that I'm hoping to show up and be present in my life, and being able to balance both of those realities with each other just gives me a lot of strength and a lot of reflection and a lot of purpose. It's great, personally.
Do you have any like tips or like things that you do that like help you dream more often? And like, because you said like you are able to like lucid dream like a lot with like control, like you can control like kind of control like when you lucid dream and stuff like that. And I get dreams maybe like once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. So like I'm just wondering like how you dream more or like can control your dreams.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, it's a skill. And so it takes practice. And, not everything works for everybody. So you kind of have to find out what works for you. But there's like some general things. Um, Having good sleep hygiene, which means no screens before bed, which we all do. I know we do. And that's fine. Um, but good sleep hygiene, going to bed at a reasonable hour, um, no screens, and being able to like actually relax your body while you're laying there before you fall asleep. Because I know like how many of us are going through our to-do lists, you know? It's just like, oh Lord, I have to do this and this and this and this and this tomorrow. So like learning how to let all of that go and let yourself fall into sleep, and then in that relaxed state, learning how to reflect on the things that you want to dream about. And so like if I want to dream about Michael Jordan, that's when I'm going to lay there and be like, "Oh yeah, Chicago 1996. Oh yeah, and like whatever. Play through Bulls games in my head. Um the time right before you go to sleep is super important, and the time right when you wake up is super important, which makes sense. Those are the bookends to your sleep when you're going to dream. And so practicing that good sleep hygiene, and then going through your sleep, waking up, writing things down first thing, and not reaching for the phone and scrolling Instagram for 20 minutes like we all do. I know we do. It's fine. It's fine. We all do it. um those are some real helpful things in my life. um And then there's things like there's some herbal teas that are supposed to help with dreaming. Um, Mugwort is one of them. Um, you know, it's practice. And then yeah, not taking it too seriously, because if you take it so seriously, you're just gonna stress yourself out. You have your whole life to interact with dreaming.
Well, and therein lies part of like the danger's not the right word, but you've mentioned several times to keep a balance. Because Because if the dreams are that, like anything, I could see this becoming abusive. Like you would prefer to be in your lucid dream state and, inducing sleep. And so that you're, this sounds like a made for TV movie coming out for something, but just that not living in the reality versus allowing the dreams to inform and enhance the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are some people who do prefer to like sleep and they feel most alive in their sleep. And so if that's, you know, something you notice about yourself, then it's time to maybe pump the brakes on the practice. I mean, that it could be fine to love sleep more than living, but I would hope for all of you that the point is living richly while you're awake. But yeah, absolutely. It's it takes a lot of acceptance and patience and it's something you can overdo. I mean, it's really comparable to learning anything else. It's its own creative process in itself.
Do
Absolutely.
you find that your massage therapy job has impacted the way that you view dreams and dreaming?
That's a really interesting question that nobody's ever asked me. I think maybe, but only in a roundabout way. Um, I Something that's wonderful about massage therapy is I get to talk to people about how they're experiencing their bodies, which is another thing that we're not really talking about in society, not that much. Like when people say, "How are you?" They're mostly like, "What's going on in your life? What's your what are your feelings about your life right now?" And so you're like, "I'm fine," or "I'm sad," or "I'm really stressed out." That's usually the response that you might give. But in massage therapy, you get to say, "How's your body? What's happening in your body?" And you know, that's a different awareness. That's less cerebral. That's more somatic. That's more focused on like, oh, actually, my chest feels really tight, or like, huh, my feet really hurt, or I've got a headache, or whatever, something like that. And so being able to hear people talk about their experiences of their bodies maybe helps me to experience what it is for me to live in my body a little bit more, which then influences my dreaming life. So it's kind of a roundabout way to say yes. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh. Does anybody else have any dream house experiences that they want to share?
Dream
I
house
see,
experiences.
I see a
We,
maybe back there.
we actually haven't brought them home yet.
Oh, okay, cute.
Because we
Well,
hadn't finished working on them.
yeah.
Actually, Hannah did. Did anybody else finish working on them?
I did.
Oh, yours is at home.
Yeah, I brought mine home, but it's on my nightstand, but I kept on being like, okay, Sarah, like use it, and then I kept on forgetting to do it. But it's
Yeah.
like in my room, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. And that's the nice thing is it'll always be there. Or that's something that's so cool about dreams is they're always there for us. It's you having a relationship with yourself for the rest of your life, you know.
So I have a question about like your dream house. What like made you first like want to sew a dream house, and then do you feel like it helped you after you did it?
What made me want to sew a dream house? I think it's something that just came out of a conversation with a friend named Zach Foster, who's another quilter. Um, he just likes dreams a lot, and I like dreams a lot, and we're just having conversations all the time. And I think it just came up organically as an idea, and then it's one of the ones that I executed. You know, we all have 1,000 ideas a day, but how many do we act on? And so this is just one of the ones that I acted on, and then yeah, something that's nice about it. Lucid dreaming is the idea that you get to have some amount of control over your dreams and what you're dreaming. But then the dream house is nice because you get to set an intention for your dreams. You get to have some sort of say in what you hope happens in them or what you want to see. And so it just is something that deepened my dreaming practice.
Like normally, or now, are you at the point where like if you put like an intention in, it like most of the time occurs?
Not every night, but most times, yeah. It's cool.
That's
Like right now, I'm really into like going to the mall with Pedro Pascal. Um, I love him. He's so lovely. And so we just hang out in my dreams. And it's
That's
really
cool.
fun. It's really sweet.
Do you write your intentions down on like a piece of paper and then put it in? And after a while, do you take them all out and put them somewhere?
Great question. I feel like this is however you want to do it. Whatever works for you is how you should do it. I think I only put one at a time for me. If they build up, I feel like a little nervous for some reason. But that's just me. You can do whatever works for you. Maybe you have like a lot of pieces of paper and they're all sort of around the same thing, so you're really trying to put your intention, lots and lots of intention in there, you know?
Kind of
Maybe.
shifting gears, to, I know that quilting takes so much time. And I know that you sell, your quilts, so how do you, like manage your time to get those quilts out there for sale? And how many do you make, like, or how often do you quilt?
Well, I don't really manage my time that well, is the truth. Um, yeah, it is a super slow process. And I haven't been able to sew for about 3 weeks, because I've been taking care of a friend. Um, but it's really like my passion. And so I'm not aiming to make a certain number of quilts. It's just whatever I make is good. And I don't even sell all of them. I only sell some things. So it's very organic. And it's not what I'm relying on for money. So it can be organic. I can do whatever I want. Um, and so, yeah, I just make whatever I want to make. And then I sell whatever I want to sell. And some days I manage my time. And so a lot of times I really don't. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry, that's not really much of an answer, but um, yeah, I just do whatever I want.
Did your love for quilting or like your interest in dreams come first?
Well, I grew up in a family of quilters, but I took it for granted for like, oh, I don't know how long. I'm pointing at all of you right now. If you've got grandmas with quilts, ask them questions about it. Ask them who made them. Write it down. I charge you, please. Um, so I would say that I got serious about dreaming in my early 20s, and then I got serious about quilting in my early 30s. So I would guess I would say dreaming.
For your quilts, do you have a preferred sewing method, whether by hand or by machine, or how do you go about that?
I love to, again, do whatever feels right because hand piecing takes forever. It's really got to be a labor of love. It's got to be a really, really good idea. I have to really want to because it's going to be like the next 3 or 4 months of my life. And so I like hand piecing more, but also because I work with my hands as a massage therapist, sometimes my hands are sore. And so I do a lot of machine piecing as well. Um, there's putting all the pieces of fabric together. Ah, I just got a text from my brother about one of his dreams. That's cute. Um, it's just very funny. I like to sometimes put pieces of fabric together with the machine, and that's called patchwork. The top of a quilt is called the patchwork part of a quilt. And then I always like to hand quilt, which means putting the 3 layers of a quilt together, the back, the batting, and the quilt top. I like to do that all by hand because I think it's prettier. So you can mix and match hand piecing and machine piecing and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody here sew or make quilts or clothes or anything? I see you raising your hand. What do you make? You do make quilts?
I just started learning.
You just started?
Yes.
That's so exciting. I wish you had some to show.
I brought one the other day to the class. I think Hannah saw it. It was a Houston Astros thing.
Cute.
I have a picture
That's
of
so
it.
exciting.
Yeah.
Love.
This is our resource officer, Officer Sarah Stubbs is the, and yeah, so she's our quilter who's married to a big Astros fan.
Oh, cool. So it was a present.
Learn with Miss McHale, right?
This is Mikhail's class.
And she learned how to quilt here at our, here we come.
Oh my gosh, that took so long. That's amazing. That's your first quilt?
Oh no, that was my fourth.
Okay, I was gonna say, wow,
You know, it took
it's
forever.
gorgeous. It's
Thank you.
gorgeous. I love it. That's so cool. Quilts are the best. You can't go wrong. Does anybody here hate a quilt? I mean, if so, why? Quilts are so good. You get cozy. Ugh, they're the best.
You had, Allison, you had written a little bit about your, I mean, it seems a perfect match that you have an interest. I like that you said you started getting serious about dreaming, and then you started to get serious about quilting. And so in order to get serious about dreaming, there must be also an influence, a major influence on controlling on sleep. Okay. And then what that I sleep best when it's cool and when I feel very weighted down. I just like being like, if I could exist in a sock, that would be good.
Nice to be arranged.
I did see, sorry, I did see this blanket that was like a weighted blanket, but it was a sock. And I think I'm gonna order that for myself.
Nice.
But you had talked a little bit about the importance of quilts and that the quilts are made by other people that could influence the dreams and stuff. And then you had also these miniature quilts that you make, and then the pocket that goes on the. Yeah. Can we discuss this stuff?
Yeah. Well, I'm partly, it's somewhere between sentimental and spiritual, but if I sleep with the quilts that were made by my grandmother's hands, my great grandmother's hands, my great great grandmother's hands, great. I have a great 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 grandmother quilt. I just feel like they're with me. And something that gets said about dreaming is that you actually travel. You're not just staying in your bed. Some part of you is going somewhere else. And if that's true, I don't know if that's true. If that's true, I want the people in my lineage with me, or I want them to at least have a little input as though they're watching over me. It just makes me feel closer to them, and I love it. Things made by people's hands that last for generations is just special. It's just cool. So yeah, I just want to be near it. And then yeah, this little thing is the tiniest quilt I've ever made. It's so very tiny. It's small enough to put in my pocket. And what I do with it is, this is a lucid dreaming technique. I carry it around, and then throughout my day, I'll take it out of my pocket and I'll sort of rub it between my fingers. And I'll look around and I say, am I dreaming right now? Am I dreaming right now? Am I dreaming right now? And the answer right now would be no. Well, except maybe you in the front row, you sleeping. I see you. I see you sleeping and passing notes. I got you. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And so I'll ask myself, am I dreaming? And I create the habit for my dreams so that I'm asking myself enough times, am I dreaming right now? So that in my sleep, when I'm asleep, I'll ask myself, am I dreaming right now? And then the answer is yes. Oh my God. You know, and so I take this, I hold on to it throughout the day. You say what?
I said, this is crazy. I love this. It's so absolutely practical
It's practical.
but mystical at the same time. It's like the
Mhm.
union of heaven and earth in a dream.
It's wild. It really is wild. It's very, very rich. It's very fruitful. It's cool. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So I take this from my pocket, and then at the end of the day, I have a little pocket on the back of my pillowcase that I sewed, and I'll put this in the pocket in my pillowcase. And so then when I wake up, this is also one of the first things that I can touch, so that I'm not, scrolling Instagram, because I'll probably,
Right.
if I
Right.
pick up my phone, I'm gonna want to scroll Instagram.
But that's your dreamstagram.
Dreams, ooh, Dreamstagram,
Yeah.
very fancy. Yeah.
Is that one of the mini quilts that you sell on your like website, or are they a little bit bigger?
I'll show you.
That's her. She's got a cat.
I've got a cat. I've got two. This one's, yeah, this is a little bigger. And here's, this is like about the size of my palm. These are really fun. If you want to get into quilting, I highly recommend making mini quilts, tiny quilts, because this only takes, well, like 3 hours. It still takes a long time. Sewing takes forever, but that's different from 3 months. And yeah, it's so delightful to have a project that you can do while you're watching a movie or just sitting down, sitting around. Sewing's cool.
Have you ever made like a quilt for your cats? Cat quilt.
Oh,
Cat quilt.
what's your name?
Tammy.
Thank you for saying that, Tammy. I need to. My gosh. My poor babies. They need a quilt too. Gosh, I'm giving quilts to other people. They're probably like, hello. Do you not love me? I need to do that. Does anybody here ever think they would make a quilt? Or does it sound interesting to anybody? Or is it like absolutely never? Please don't make me ever.
Interesting, but I feel like I would get like a little bit into it and be like, this is a lot of work.
It is. It truly is. You also have to take up a lot of space. Or like you test how much the people you live with love you, because you're like, sorry, I'm just gonna be in the living room for a little while, and it turns into like weeks, and yeah. But you get a quilt out of it, which is pretty cool. And if you can sew a quilt, you can do things like mend clothes and put on buttons, and yeah.
I'm gonna commit. I'm committing.
To making a
Yeah.
quilt?
Yeah, I'm gonna commit to make a quilt, but I think I'm not gonna commit to hand stitching. And I'm not probably gonna commit to doing it proper, because I don't know the proper way. And it's
Good.
probably not gonna be right angles in a square. It won't be intentionally wonky, but we'll do that. So what is the best interior? You have the back, the middle, the front. What's the best interior with weight that I don't have with weight? Yeah.
Well, then that's hard, because if it's thick, it's hard to sew through. And so I
But-
might say something like wool, because that's not so impossible. Wool batting, not just like wool sweaters or like any wool, but like wool batting or old wool blanket. That because you can just repurpose old blankets to be in the middle of your quilts.
What
But
about
that's
like,
great.
yeah,
What?
how does one clean a wool blanket?
Very carefully. You have to hand wash it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of it can be. It's funny because it takes a long time to make a quilt, and then you actually have to care for it. But that's part of what makes it so wonderful. Or I could go buy a blanket at Target, and I have, But then what is a quilt? It's this whole other special thing. Sarah knows. Like it's just special. It's just I don't know, you all. Go look at some quilts. I promise. They're so cool. They're
I used to, I presume that you are familiar with the quilts of Gee's Bend.
absolutely.
So I worked that the exhibition that was probably, I guess in, 03 or 2003, there was a whole bunch of them that traveled across the United States. And one of the stops was in Houston, and I happened to be working, living there and working for this art handling company. So we had to build these crates for the quilts that were just so incredibly beautiful, but not because of not because it so incredibly beautiful because of all of the imperfections that were with them.
Yeah, and it's really incredible how that's entirely what like so many improv quilters now are trying to do. Or
Yeah.
there's something very beautiful. There's a beautiful discussion to be had around perfectionism and why it's not the most important thing in life. Um, and it's yes, so special to see these quilts, um, made by Black women in a time that maybe was very difficult, and just the beauty that shines through is just it's there are no words for it. There's the most special quilts. They're incredible. If you all haven't seen them, please, please, please look them up.
Well,
They're
they
so
will
cool.
now. I'll show
Yeah.
them now. It'll be part of
Good.
class. Yes.
Good, good, good. Yeah, because I love traditional quilts and I like to make them sometimes, but there's improv style, making it up as you go along. There's it's something else.
So do you normally have a plan before you make a quilt?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I start with an idea and then I change it completely, you know? Because yeah, so does that ever happen to you all? You start something and you're like, whoa, this has a voice of its own. I have to change it completely. Yeah, yeah, that just happens. That happens.
Have
It's
you
fun.
quilted? I'm sorry. Have you quilted in a dream?
Yeah, yeah. I love that. It's so fun. It's just yeah, and it makes so much sense because I spend so many hours.
Yes.
Yeah, quilting.
And so has that translated into a non-dreaming quilt?
Uh,
Probably.
I mean, I've made quilts inspired by dreams. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're trying to dream so hard right now. Oh, you in the front. You in the front. You want to. You want to show us how to dream. I can tell. You just want. You can't wait. You can't wait. You got so excited about dreaming. It's
So
funny because from where I'm sitting, I'm just looking directly at you. You really are like in the center. It's very funny.
he was already set when I set up the camera. He said front and center.
Yep.
Um. So, you know, okay. See, I'm spinning with the spirituality of it, the dream aspect, I feel like this is good. This is good because I feel like I'm saying so let's compare lucid dreaming to the gospel. Okay. And let's say that when Jesus is walking around and he says something like, when you've got the followers and or the non-believers, and they're only gonna believe this dude if he performs a miracle in front of them, because they're not reading the signs, they're not seeing us, so they're like, they're a tough sell. And so they're like, come on, heal this guy right now, or come on, do this or that. And he says, an evil and unfaithful generation needs a sign. Okay. So I was about to ask you, so tell me, when you're lucid dreaming and you rub you and you say, am I dreaming? And you find out, yes, I'm dreaming. I wanted you to say to me, like to us, like, what the hell that is? Like, what do you do at that point? Like, but then I almost felt like I was saying to you, I almost feel like I'm an evil and unfaithful generation because so would you mind like embarking upon a memory of your lucid dreaming to us?
Yeah. And it's so it's fun, and I love that question too. I'm not sure I know what that moment is, you know. It there's so much magic to it. But like I was saying earlier before, I think I can't remember if it was to Tammy or not. But sometimes you wake up.
Yeah.
You you sort of shock yourself. You say, "Yes, I am dreaming. Oh my gosh." And so uh sometimes you wake up, but then sometimes you realize you can do whatever you want. And so I'm not lucid dreaming isn't this sort of thing where you like are controlling every aspect of your dream. You're not like in the house and you're like, ugh, the walls need to be purple. Snap, they're purple walls. Or like, I need somebody to come in right now and hand me $15 million. I'm rich. Um, it's more subtle than that a lot of times. I mean, you can like control things like that, but most of the time it's way, way, way more subtle. And so you realize you're dreaming, you realize you can do whatever you want. And then because you're asleep is a sort of foggy process to be like, whoa, whoa, what do I do next? And sort of like how it's easy to get distracted in our waking lives. It's easy to get distracted while you're trying to become present in your lucid dreaming. You can be like, oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna go throw an ice cream party with all my friends. I want all my friends to be there. That's the lucid dream I want to have right now. And then you're like, oh wait, but I'd love to see a raccoon. Oh, there's a raccoon right there. Huh. Whoa, raccoons are cool. You know, it's not a straight line. It's real like wavy and weird, but achievable and really fun, really, really interesting and weird. Yeah, worth a shot. I can't wait to hear if y'all have any lucid dreams.
Yeah, the
Sometimes I'm like aware that I'm like dreaming, but I like can't really make decisions. But I feel like the dreams I know I'm dreaming, they're always good. You know?
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I love
Maybe
that.
like maybe I am making decisions and I just don't realize it.
Yeah. Do you have a generally positive attitude, would you say? Everybody's nodding. Everybody's nodding. Everybody says yes. Yeah, that's great. I'm so happy that when you realize you're dreaming, it's a good dream. That says, to me, that says something about your outlook.
Thank you.
So the pressure's on us. I think we should, yeah, we have tonight and we have tomorrow night, and then we can reconvene. One of us is bound to have like like a recollection, but we can't forget, like I have been doing, to write them down. How many of us have had dreams and then we forgot to write them down over the past week?
I mean, me too. I'm raising my hand too.
Okay, good.
That's normal.
Good.
Yeah. I will say it took me maybe like a good 8 months to begin to lucid dream. So the pressure, you know.
Oh, no. I'm not saying the pressure's on to lucid dream. I'm just saying the pressure's on is to have a dream, recollect it, and then discuss it like over 2 days. No. I'm not jumping that gun.
Okay.
So did you, you know what, I just recalled, I guess it must have been around, I don't know, 02, 03. Was it called Waking Life?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I will admit that I saw it in the theater and I fell asleep. Um,
The irony.
so Waking Life was have y'all seen Waking Life? Have you heard about Waking Life? It's a it's a film that that is about lucid dreaming, is it not? I haven't even attempted to watch it again because I was so mad at myself for falling asleep, but I also blamed it on the film.
That's very funny. Ha ha ha. Woohoo. Yeah, I mean it's worth checking out. It is largely about lucid dreaming. I feel like it's also just sort of a you philosophically meander, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um it's very strange. It feels like having a dream watching that film. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of
Yes, it
strange.
is.
Animated. Yeah.
It's on HBO? Still watch it on HBO Max. All right. Yeah. I mean, we could watch it in here.
Cute. That's fun. I wish I was there with y'all. That sounds like a party.
So I know you told me that you ended up in or you found your way to North Carolina, you fell in love with the place and so you stayed. Where was it that you were before then?
I was in Bloomington, Indiana for about 13 years.
Bloomington,
Yeah.
Indiana.
That's where I went to college at IU, Indiana University. Yeah.
And that's
Bloomington.
near Illinois, right? Is that
That is.
right?
Yeah, yeah. That one state west is Illinois. It's in
Right.
between Illinois and Ohio.
So you're in North Carolina, but you were there, and I mean Illinois, then there's Chicago. So was Michael Jordan just a random thing you said?
Have you all ever seen The Last Dance?
Yes. Yeah.
I was transformed when I saw it. I had no idea I was gonna love Michael Jordan so much, and then I saw that, and then I obsessed about him for a while. So, yeah, there's nobody like him. There's nobody like him.
Have you made it to a game in your dream yet?
No, and that I think it's a sort of thing where you try so hard that you sort of fizzle out, or
Yeah.
it really is true that if you put too much pressure on yourself, it backfires. And so
Yeah.
I keep trying to relax about it, but I have no chill. I have no chill. And so I would love to. I think the moment the moment I stop being hard on myself about it is when it will sort of start to unfold and I'll meet them.
When you dream, what like point of view do you dream in? Is it like first person or third person? Because sometimes when I dream in third person, so I like see myself doing the action. But sometimes I'm like first person, I'm like doing it myself.
I've had issues.
And what is that like? Can you recall the feeling of experiencing that?
This one dream that I had, it was a very, very weird dream. But I remember a black hole was sucking us in, like the whole earth. But I could feel it. Like I could feel the coldness and like the wind. It was very surreal and kind of scared me, but
Yeah, that's scary. That's not a good day, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. And that's something else that, or to sort of bring it back to something we were talking about earlier. Um, the body, in my opinion, the body thinks that dreams are real. But you wake up, and have you all ever woken up in a bad mood because you had a dream where you're like
Yes.
talking to an ex or something like that, and you're just like, "Ugh." um, the body sort of treats dreams like they're actually happening, and that's why part of why nightmares can feel so unsettling. You wake up sort of like in that fight or flight response. And so I believe that you felt that cold of the black hole and that you had this awareness that, oh my gosh, is my life about to end? Like, is everything about to end? And that's something that was happening in your entire being, was like figuring out what that would feel like. I forget the question, but that's where I landed. Oh, God.
What point of view do you dream in?
Oh, yeah. I mostly first person. Every once in a while, third. And it feels weird to me. Do you like it, or what do you think about dreaming in third person?
It doesn't really feel weird to me because it's so normal that because I do it most often. It just doesn't seem that abnormal.
Is it weird then when you dream in first person?
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Do you have a lot of free time? Or are you very busy?
I am kind of busy. I don't except for like the weekend.
Except for weekends. Okay. I I wondered if you were a busy person and that you don't get a whole lot of time to yourself. I don't know. There might be something there. I wonder if you ever had like a vacation or, actual like free time where you don't have to do anything, you get to rest. Like actually rest, not like lay still and worry about everything. But like when you actually get to rest, if you would dream more in first person. I wonder.
Allison, we are nearing time. I was gonna ask if you, and it may be on your website, but I don't recall it being on your website. Like we didn't talk too much about how I would bet that we could pull you as an expert witness on dreaming. And so wondering what, like, if there were some simple resources or just some resources that if we were interested that we could follow up, like if you recommended Waking Life, or if there was some article in this, or if there was a song that if we can, when we reconvene on Thursday, just a few of those, and then we can discuss if we recall dreams. And I don't want to keep you any longer than is necessary. I thank you so much for the time today. I know we've all enjoyed it, and we would like a little bit more.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, I don't know if y'all, it's on my website and it's through my the link in my bio and on my Instagram, something that I'm calling free dream resources.
Okay. What?
And there's
Oh, we did look at it?
Yeah, because she had that movie and you were like, we need to watch this.
Oh.
the
Oh.
Japanese movie.
Oh, yes. You did. We
It
did.
is
Yeah.
wild. It is wild. Yeah, so it's basically anytime there's also like an ebook on lucid dreaming. I'm showing you my phone like you can see it.
Okay, it's already there.
Any-
Okay.
It's there, and anytime somebody talks about dreams, it's important information. There's so many different cultures and ways of thinking about dreaming that there's just always something to learn. So there's a few on my website, a few.
Okay. But yes, I forgot about, we watched the trailer for it? Or?
Well, you just like fast forwarded a bunch of different parts and we were really.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, because there's a link that you put on the website. Yeah. We just looked through it and thought, this is fantastic. We're gonna have to watch this. Or I said that, and I think they were on board for it. So.
It's a wild movie.
All right.
Real dream.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I can't wait to see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Oh my gosh, yes, of course. And Luke right here. Luke said Luke's gonna start his quilt tomorrow.
Nice, Luke.
I'm gonna get that. Yeah, I'm gonna research that sock blanket. And we even drew our no, wait. Yeah, there you are, by the way. You're up on our wall. That's right.
Funny dream.
And we got our director of curriculum it came in, and she likes to come to the art chats. Yeah. So thank you. And we'll see you on Thursday. Same gig.
See you on Thursday. Can't wait.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Bye.
All right. Start recording. Yeah. Here we are. Okay. Allie Homan day 2. Okay. All right. Talking about Wizard of Oz and sweatshirts and sewing. And this guy right here, this guy, you know what he did? You know what he brought me yesterday?
What did you do?
He brought me a weighted blanket that he's not using anymore, that I'm going to do the quilt over the weighted blanket.
That's so sweet. That was really very kind of you. What a nice gift. Absolutely. Wow, so sweet. Yeah, you're gonna sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Can you just take any blanket and quilt over it?
If you want to, absolutely. Yep.
So that's the middle of it?
Well, it all depends. So you can put a okay. You can here's what a quilt technically is. It's a bottom layer, a middle layer, and then a quilt top is the top layer. And so if you just want to put a quilt top on top of a blanket, then you only have 2 layers. You can call it a day. You can do whatever you want is like the short answer. But quilting is technically when you're combining all the layers together. And so at what point does it become a quilt? When you would sew them all together so that the layers don't shift around. But yes, I mean, just like the quilt sweatshirt, I'm just taking a patch that's only like this big and putting it on a sweatshirt. You can take anything you want and put it on a blanket.
So you can kind of like sew your pattern first, or like the design, and then you sew it all together. You don't have to sew your design like into the thickness of all of it.
Right.
Okay.
Totally.
So you could make like a big pillowcase and then put the middle in.
If you want
If you
to.
have-
Yes.
If you want to, yes. Yes. Your own rules.
I've definitely done that pillowcase style before. It's great. Yeah. Go for it.
I was wondering what kind of sewing machine you used.
I have a Bernina, and it's a little bit fancy. I inherited it from my grandma, who was a quilter. And so I've got a Bernina. I really like Singers though, and there's a lot, if you've never had a sewing machine before, there's a lot of Singers that are good for beginners.
A lot of singers. I got thrown off on that one. I know that now, and I thought she was gonna talk about music to listen to while you're using your Bernina. But yeah, I have my grandmother's singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody have anybody in the family that sews?
My Mimi does.
Yeah. You all you should talk to them about it. Who taught them? Do they want to teach you anything? There's an incredible lineage through families of skills, and sewing really does tend to get passed down generation to generation. You should ask the people in your family about sewing. Yeah. Just a little friendly advice. And I see you finished your dream house in the front row. It looks just like the one I made for myself. Yeah, you just finished it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it. It looks just like the one I have by my bed, which is cool. We'll be connected. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking initiative here. All right. So I had a dream last night. Okay. I don't recall mine from yesterday, but this morning I got up and I went to make my kids lunches and started doing my thing and went, oh man, we got Allie again today and I can't remember my, and then I started going about the stuff and then I caught it. So I grabbed a piece of paper and sat down. Now, I was on a gondola of sorts, okay? Going across an African desert. Okay? All right. It was my wife and I, our age now, And then we had a child with us, which is in addition to the teenagers that I have now, okay? A child. But this was an open kind of ski lift type gondola, all right? I watched the child start slipping out of the gondola, and it fell. And I turned around, and we were pretty high, and I saw the baby just falling. I turned away because I couldn't watch, but I noticed specifically that my wife was staring at the child as the child was falling, and was like, tears were in her eyes, but she would not look away. And I was vivid in my dream, like, why is she looking? What is she doing? Skip to arrival at home, large house, filed lot. Okay. There are some other things after that. Then I have this art exhibit coming up in a month, so I was doing some stuff in there. That was the easy part. So those are the things. But I couldn't figure out like this baby thing. All right. So I finished making the lunches. I go into the bedroom where she's getting dressed, and it's the Today Show. And which is our routine. It comes on at 7 o'clock, and she has the Today Show. She watches Well, then they started showing footage of the Turkish earthquake. And yesterday, when she was watching the footage of the Turkish earthquake, I stood there and watched it, and there was a kid trapped under the rubble. And I said, I can't watch this. And I walked out. And when I turned around, she was standing there watching the Today Show with tears in her eyes. And I thought, why the heck can't she look away from that? That was yesterday. And this morning, and I forgot about it, this morning I went into the bedroom, and of course, there was no more footage from the Today Show. And I looked away, and it went bing, 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 bing. And I said, well, why are you watching? You're really into this. She says, it's so horrible. I just can't look away, though. That was, yeah, I was mighty pleased. I was mighty impressed, not with the Turkish earthquake or that pain, but like, it's all you, Allie. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, it when you really get intentional about it, the things you start to notice are just absolutely wild. And the ways that you'll connect with other people and like have these weird psychic moments, it's really fascinating. Yeah.
And I walked out of the room, and I thought, well, that's kind of lame. The gift that was just given to me, and I'm just going to walk out of the room. I got to do something with this. So I walked back into the room, and I was like, we should talk about this later. I'm thinking, it's interesting that you look at it, because at the same, because when my children would get hurt or they would get sick or something, she can't handle blood or anything. So I was the fixer, and I am the splinter remover, and I am that. So she can't do that, but she was doing it. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. A little date. So
wow. Yeah, that will be a very interesting conversation for sure.
Thanks,
It's
Allie.
also
High five.
interesting-
Bam.
High five. Woo. Have you ever heard of a way to interpret your dreams where you are every part of your dream? You are every character, you're every building, you're the gondola, you're the sand in the desert. Have you ever heard of that sort of?
That was the other thing. My wife spent 2 years teaching in East Africa.
Really?
And she would always talk about like bad things, that good and bad things. But that's why I think we were going over the African desert. Okay. But no, I have not.
Yeah. It's interesting to consider. I mean, and in a way it makes sense because you're potentially the one that's creating all of the images of your dream. It's all coming from you. So how could it not be you? I mean, there's also the idea that like these images are coming from somewhere else, who knows where, but then you would be your wife in the dream and you would be the baby that's falling, you know. It's just an
Mhm.
interesting way to think about that, because then how do I relate to that baby? How do I relate to my idea that I have of my wife? How do I relate to myself in my dream?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's good. The gondola is the homestead. 'Cause my oldest just went away to college.
Oh.
All right.
I actually have an idea, like while you were saying it. Kaya's your oldest, right?
Kaya's my oldest.
She
Yeah.
just left for college.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you had to let your baby
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And we're in Southwest Louisiana, and so my oldest is up in Central Massachusetts.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's far.
But
You had to let her go out of.
But there was a weird kind of like, when I watched the baby fall, I turned away, and what I didn't say is, then we went back to this location where we were staying, and I made a phone call to someone so that we could fly over the area to go retrieve the baby. There was no question for me that it was still alive. I just needed to get there to it, and I needed someone's help to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so if that was Kaya, she didn't die. She just yeah.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting? Or that's part of why I love to have my dream club, is there's always more to pull out of the dreams. There's always more to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dream club, our dream club is meeting in a week if anybody wants to come. It's at
Wait a minute.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
You're not,
It's
it's not like a
virtual.
bunch of people in a room? Y'all don't
No,
meet together?
During the winter, it's virtual. If anybody wants to come, I can send a Zoom link to you.
Please?
Get it to your students.
You
Yeah.
just invited us?
Yes, please come. Please, anybody's welcome. I mean, we just sit around and we just talk, just like we're talking now about dreams. Yeah, this is how it
Wait,
feels.
that's so cool.
When is it? When is it?
Next Thursday, so that's the 16th.
Okay.
So are there like a bunch of different like interpreting techniques?
There's so many. And so like the way that we might be familiar with thinking about it is through Freud and all of his psychoanalysis. And he is going to be the one, like if you Google like, oh my gosh, I dreamt about a tiger, what does a tiger mean? Some Freudian interpretation is what's most likely to come up. But there's just like so many ways to think about it. And like Freud is just one dude. There's so many cultures who actually revere dreaming or think about it a lot that would have something different to say about tigers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying how you said about how everybody in your dream is you. That really, when you said that, I thought about the dream I had last night that I was like, it kind of scared me because there was this dude stalking me when I slept.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, was that like me looking in to myself? I don't know. It just made me think about it.
Is that a little more comforting? That it's you looking in instead of a stalker? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because that wasn't the entire dream.
All right.
Because I was sleeping in my bed, and my bed is right next to the window,
Yeah.
and he was staring at me
Uh-huh.
through the little crack in the blinds. And then I made eye contact with him,
Uh-huh.
and then I ran into the living room and called for my dad, and he was ready to go fight the dude.
Yeah.
And they went outside, and I don't know what happened outside. I was hiding with a telephone sock. So I was trying to call 911 on the sock. But that's kind of where it ended. So it's very weird.
Well, that was left over from me telling you that I wanted to have the sock blanket because it would protect me.
Was this in first person? Was this happening through your eyes? Weren't you saying last time you don't have a lot
Yes.
of things like that?
It was both of them. Like when
You-
I opened my eyes and saw the dude staring at me, that was in first person. But when I was like calling 911, that was in third.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what sort of threats you perceive in life and how they feel to you throughout your day or how that got in there. Or like I know I've been watching The Last of Us and my dreams are a little bit more scary because of it. Um,
What,
but I wonder if you're having some sort of threat that you're or just some sort of underlying feeling throughout your day that something is like oppressive or like coming for you or unpleasant and you wish it wasn't there. Just wondering, just wondering.
what about you last night?
I couldn't sleep. And so I woke up at 3. I've been up since 3,
Hmm.
which is not fun. And so I don't remember any dreams from last night. I don't normally wake up at 3. Last night was just a special occasion, I
Mhm.
guess. But it happens, every once in a while.
I would like to share my dream with you, if that's okay.
Please.
So last time we talked, you were talking about how like good like sleep hygiene or whatever and not having screens before bed. So I decided to try and draw something before bed. And I don't remember fully what I was drawing, but I was drawing something. And I think it was like a biblically accurate angel or something. So I had a dream that the angel of death brought like the end of the world, but it was like zombies. And my boyfriend died because he wouldn't listen to me about the zombies. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, he should always listen to you, first of all. Um, but yeah, I love that you're drawing before bed. I like to do crosswords before bed. And that is a really wild dream. Did it feel scary?
It wasn't scary so much as aggravating because like wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah. Why is he not listening? Um, that's so very interesting. And um, do you all collaborate very much, or you know, I imagine you're not fighting for your survival like it's a zombie apocalypse very often, but do you, I don't know, maybe like cook together or make plans together or
Me and him?
yeah, or do you have a lot of experience of him not listening
Oh, all the time.
all the time? I wish he would listen to you, and it makes sense to me that that would enter into your dreams because it sounds frustrating. That sounds very frustrating. And when it really matters, like in a zombie apocalypse, you're gonna need to be on the same side.
Have you ever, well, actually, I was doing some research on lucid dreaming and
Yeah.
I came across sleep paralysis and I was wondering if you've ever heard of it.
I have, and it seems super scary, and I don't know if y'all know what it is. So I'll just say real quick, it's where you do wake up from sleeping, but you can't move. You can't move your body, and so you're aware of your surroundings maybe, and maybe you're a little confused because you're waking up from a dream, but you can't move, you can't do anything about it until you can. And so yeah, it seems super scary, and I know some people who have experienced it, and I know some people who experience night terrors. But yeah, it just seems pretty unpleasant. It's weird having a body, isn't it? You kind of never know what's gonna happen. Um, yeah, but sleep paralysis does not seem fun. Does not seem fun. I've never experienced it.
I was so scared of sleep paralysis, I literally could not fall asleep.
Because you were scared it was gonna happen to you.
Yeah, I watched me and
Aw.
Audrey, our
Yeah.
math class our freshman year, this girl told us about her sleep paralysis and we
Aw.
couldn't sleep for a long time.
Oh, that's so
Right
sad.
now, it's fine. I mean, if it happens, I'll just like pray or something, it'll be
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. It if it hasn't happened to you, there's a good chance it won't at this point in life.
Yeah, that's what I read, so that's why I'm like, okay, I'm fine.
So these guys right here in the front, you said sleep paralysis. And Miss Price here said, I cannot wait. And then you said, you just said, if it hasn't happened by now, it probably won't. You're like, oh.
Because you're interested in that
You have
experience?
it?
Oh, I've had it like 3-4 times.
Oh,
Luke, tell us about
the sleeper from last class said,
Hey,
Luke
Luke.
says he's had it like
3-4 times.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it happened like all in the span of a year too. I haven't had it since like 2018, 19 probably.
Huh.
And yeah, but I got it a lot for some reason, like just like 3 times within like a few months or so. And
Mhm.
one time it was so bad, like I got an itch on my forehead and I could not move. I swear it was like the worst experience of my life because I couldn't move to like itch it, and I just felt it. I kept feeling it. And it was bad.
Oh.
Allie, how does sleepwalking play into this?
I don't really know, so I could make something up, but I would definitely be making something
Alright.
up. I just know that you're not, you're between awake and asleep when you're sleeping.
And that you've not been a sleepwalker?
I have not. I have not. I haven't really known any either. What you got? You raising your hand. What do you
Oh, I used to sleepwalk all the time, from like 4 till I was like 9,
Yeah.
want?
all the time.
Yeah, me too. When I was younger, and I would just walk into rooms.
One time I left the house.
Oh,
It was so funny. It was hilarious.
That's scary.
huh.
But like, okay, so like we had alarms at our house,
Uh-huh.
and I was like 6. I don't know. I was little, but I got all the way ready for school. In my dream, I was going to school. I got all the way ready for school. I had my lunchbox packed, and I had my backpack. And I got on the little stair to turn off the alarm. And in my dream, I turned off the alarm. But in real life, I did not turn off the alarm. And I put in the wrong code. So I opened the door, and the alarm is what woke me up, was the alarm going off.
Yeah. Numbers in dreams can be really weird. So I guess that's fortuitous. I guess that worked to your advantage. So you didn't run out of the house.
What numbers can be weird? What do you?
Numbers and letters and mirrors can be weird in dreams. They can be real squiggly and confusing. It's not for everybody. I've definitely seen numbers that make sense in my dreams, but like one of the ways that those things are just signs that you're dreaming sometimes.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
can you like look for those to help you with lucid dreaming?
Yes. But I've heard that mirrors can be scary. I haven't had that experience, but just I don't know. Be aware.
So can anyone lucid dream, or does it have to be a gift?
No, yeah, I think anybody can do it because it really is just an awareness that you're dreaming. And so there's degrees of it. Like you mentioned last time that you sometimes realize that you're dreaming. And so that's like a little taste of lucidity. And then, it's just like anything, a skill that you develop. So, yeah, anybody can do it for sure. Yeah.
I was just wondering, have you like developed any like habits or like fears from your dreams before? Because I know I have, like back when I was like really little, I used to always dream that either somebody or something like pushed me off a cliff. And like I would be falling, and then I would just like right before I hit the ground, I'd just like wake up.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've always had like a fear of heights. Like I hate heights.
Really? That is so interesting. Both of you. You both have that experience. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
It's bad.
I mean, it makes sense. Or just like I was saying last time, it feels like it's real. Your body experiences it as real. And so that's completely and totally justified that you would take something from your dreams and bring it into your understanding of reality. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I can't remember the question, but that makes a lot of sense.
I was just have you like experienced any of that?
Where something so scary happens that I mean, I don't think anything that's super lasting, but if I have a dream about something and it scares me, if I like see that in real life, I am kind of like, ugh, you know, I don't think I've developed any long-term fears or anything, but when I see things from my dreams in real life, it feels impacting. For sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then yeah, this popped up out of nowhere, but have any of you all had the experience where you have your alarm is a tone on your phone and then it's somebody else's ringtone? Does that ever happen to you?
Yes,
And then you hear what feels like your alarm in your life, and you're like, wait a second, what is going on right now? This is so disorienting.
yes.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
weird.
one time I was in like third or fourth grade and I set my alarm clock, like actual like alarm clock. But instead of setting it to like go off on an alarm, it was set to like go off and like play music. So it was playing like Christmas songs on the radio. And in my dream, I kept on hearing like the same part of the song, and I was like, "What is going on?" And I woke up and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I always think that's so funny. Yes, yeah, sometimes when you're dancing in your dream and then you wake up and you realize, oh, I've been asleep this whole time. Yeah, I love that. Alarms kind of bleed in. No, please go ahead, please.
Okay, so last time, you were talking about sometimes like your dreams kind of help you make decisions. So how do you distinguish when a dream is like something you're afraid of, or your dream is like actually giving you good advice?
Yeah, it all comes back to how you feel. And that's something we talked about last time too, is developing your intuition. And so only you really know how you feel, which is a wonderful thing. Because you get to have like this relationship with yourself where you ask yourself, whoa, what did I really feel about that? And then you're the only one who knows. And so, you know, sometimes dreams will show you your deepest heart's desire and you don't even know. You haven't even admitted to yourself yet what your deepest desires are. And so you'll get a glimpse of it in a dream, and it'll give you an awareness that you kind of can't forget or escape. Or I mean, I guess you can if you want to, or if you suppress it, but it's a little gift. Every dream is a little gift telling you how you feel about something. And so, yeah, I'll make decisions based on how good or bad some dream made me feel. It's all about feelings. Feelings. Yeah.
Have you ever had
And that's
like
why
this? Oh,
go ahead.
no, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why I love that you all have your dream homes, because you get to sort of take what your deep desires are and put them into your dream homes to see if those desires can manifest in your dreams. What were you gonna say, Luke?
Oh, I was gonna say like, have you ever had like this like weird experience in your dreams where it's like it's either like has to do with like either jumping or like because I remember I think you said last class like before like when you're in your dreams like when you try to fly but you like jump really high. But I've also had an experience where in my dreams I'm trying to run from something either scary or run from something and you just can't run fast. Like it's just like you're
Yes,
just so slow for
so
no
slow.
reason. I feel like I'm just trying to hurry up as soon as possible. And I move like a foot in like 5 seconds.
I know it's really, really disorienting
Yeah,
because like
it is.
my life is on the line. I gotta get away from this monster, and you can't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really something. Or yeah, it's just strange. The mechanics of
Yeah.
physics don't work the same in dreams at all. And so that's part of what makes lucid dreaming fun, is because as you get better at it, you really begin to embody the idea that you can do anything you want. Like you can explode all your atoms so that you can look at them, that's not something I could do right now. There's the sky is the limit, and when it's just really satisfying to feel like you can do anything, and then to try and bring that energy into your waking life. Obviously I can't split myself into atoms and look at it. It's true, but I feel like just developing that skill helps me to feel more capable and creative and outgoing in a way.
So, those who we are all beginning amateur dream awareness folk, okay, in this classroom. We're not lucid dreamers. We're sharing experiences. Some of the experiences, like the falling, like there seems to be a common universal language about 5 minutes left in my meeting.
I do have to go in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Go
Okay.
to
Okay.
work.
That's right. You said that. I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. Now I don't remember my point, but it was something along the lines of there's as fantastical as we think dreams can possibly be, there seems to be a common language among all human beings. And so I wonder, which I know there is, but like regardless of race, culture, creed, economic background, whatever, there's like a limitation to our dreams that really, I don't know. I'm not. This isn't Robbie on a soapbox here, like making some grand philosophical statement, but we're a lot more similar than maybe we allow ourselves to be because we complicate things in this life.
Sure. Yes. We really do. Something that's great about dreams is you get to practice dropping narratives, and dropping stories, old stories, the way things have always been. Like maybe you play a certain role in your family and you don't really want to play that role. I hear my younger brother talk about hating being the baby of the family. And he's 32, so he's not a baby anymore. But he feels like everybody treats him that way. And so if that were me, something I might lucid dream about is what is it like to not feel that anymore? Because you kind of it's that possible to drop narratives and dreams. You just let go of it. Like it's nothing. Like sometimes, or sometimes forgiving someone can be really hard and it takes a really long time. But in a dream, you can just forgive or be forgiven. And yeah, it's really special to see how we as humans are capable of really adapting and growing and being incredible. Yeah.
Well, Allie, I thank you. I just wrote on my calendar a dream meeting on Thursday. So whatever I need, please send me invite.
I'll send you a link. Yeah, absolutely. And please send it to your students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for talking. I've had a really fun 2 days. It's been really great. And I would love, please, reach out with any dream ideas or art or questions that you have in the future. I'd love to keep in touch. Yes. Bye everybody. Take care. Thank you. Bye.